Well, come on up. Tianna Conte, everyone. Welcome, my dear.
Hello, Robert.
How are you? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. That's what this is all about.
That's what this is about. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So you've got a microphone that's pointed sort of strange.
Well, this is how we're starting the new year. Getting to know you.
Yeah, I don't really know where that one's going to go, but it's got to go over here somewhere. Otherwise,
okay.
We're just not going to hear your voice, and you've got a pretty voice. We'd like to hear it.
Okay.
Okay.
Is that
the wire's
better?
Not right, but it's pointing in the right direction now.
Okay, great.
So I'm going to give you the stage for a few minutes. You take over.
Good.
I want you to talk about the New Year's Eve ritual and what that is, where that came from, why that's important, because our viewers today, they're really looking for, obviously, they came here because we promised them we're going to teach them ways to become wealthier in 2016. And you're here because you not only know it, you live it.
Absolutely. Thank you, Robert.
And I've known you about 10 years now. And
yes.
And I've just seen your progression. It's just phenomenal. So I'm proud to have you here.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here. And one of the ways we first connected that I want everybody to hear, because the word is ultimate wealth. When you think of ultimate, what comes to mind? To me, it's who you truly are, your authentic nature of self. It's the power that everyone has in who they are, with the unique gifts that only you bring. That's what the New Year's ritual is about too. But even more than that, the idea of now expanding your mind. You started it this morning, Robert, today, by saying that wealth is a frequency, money is a frequency. Well, here's the biggest secret of them all. You're the greatest frequency. So when that love enters you as you, and when you release the things that hold you down and think frequency for the new year, that's what I'm here to kind of bring about. And the first thing is, because it was so last minute, I don't have the PowerPoints or anything else.
You have them on a video. It's okay.
But we have everything we need.
We don't need that. You have much more to bring.
Well, no, what I was going to say is all of us have all that we need. The most important thing is be prepared. And when the universe says do something, the word is yes. Yes opens possibilities and infinite doors of opportunities. And so many people, and please hear this from the compassion that I have, because I was there once. Do I look good enough? Am I ready? Can I do this? I mean, I still do that. That's all part of human nature. But don't stop there. Still say yes. Still take that step. So now we're going to go to the New Year's Eve ritual and how that got started.
I'm going to leave the stage to you and let you take over from here.
Okay, and then I'll call you back up
when
I need you.
I'll be here.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to take you back in time. So think back in the 1970s. Now, most people in the 1970s did not even understand consciousness, mind-body, energy, frequency, any of that stuff. However, I did, and I was on you might say, this journey with this shaman in Haiti. Now, you know, Haiti has been known for its voodoo, but I'm going to give you the difference of voodoo and white magic. There's the white magic of the voodoo of Haiti that wants the highest and best, and that's what this ultimate wealth. And first of all, welcome to being here for those who have been here or those who are hearing it on the replay, because it really shows that you're in the top 5% of people who want to become the highest and best versions of yourself. And that's what we're talking about, being the highest and best versions. So I was blessed in the 70s. I was doing import-exporting business at the time. However, the divine had a roadmap much different for me. And when I went to Haiti, they're like, oh, you have to meet with our medicine woman. I'm always saying yes. See, magic, you never know where it leads you. So I went to meet with the medicine woman, and she was phenomenal. She was in her 90s, and she spoke English, which was amazing. Not the best English, but between, as you can see, I'm Italian, so the hand signals continue a lot. So between the hand signals and the broken English, we talked about the secrets of life as she had discovered them, and how her tradition of white magic voodoo, which is frequency of the highest order, seeing the best for a person, wanting the best. And that's Robert's whole intention in having this, December 30th soiree with the most beautiful people who want to give all that they have of their great gifts and have been doing so, and give you opportunities to go the next step. So really, just thinking back, I did it with a shaman, but if any of the speakers resonated with your heart, please never let time or money be an issue, because that's one of the things she shared with me. My dad had shared that previously, but I can go all over the place since I'm Italian and Sagittarian by nature. Anyway, perception is everything. Key. Think about that. Let that sink in. Perception is everything. So I said, okay, I think I understand that. I said, but if it's the same event, you mean if I perceive it differently, if I perceive it from a high place or a low place? She said, and the outcome will be different. And I'm like, oh, and your journey will be different. Oh, okay, so let's talk more. So she says, most people perceive their life through their conditioned way of living. She didn't say limiting beliefs or wounds from childhood, but I'll throw that in because that's the lens that they see the world. And she says they keep living it, living it, living it until something wakes them up. And usually, unfortunately, that something is not something wonderful, it's something painful. That's the wake-up call. A disease, a relationship death, or, financial disaster. That's a wake-up call. That becomes a defining moment. And that defining moment will define whether people awaken their power and become their own solution of the soul's gift for bringing that issue to them, or if they become defined, limited, and lose that opportunity. So that's why I said about money. People often resonate with something, but they'll say, I don't have the money. Now, one of the speakers said it so beautifully, it may have been Robert. What I usually ask people, clients or friends, when they say that, you're limiting your consciousness, going back to what the shaman taught me, but what you're saying is that your ego is bigger than your soul. There's the fallacy that's been brought upon us by so-called education that seeks to put energy into us instead of evoke the wisdom out of us. Anyway, so going back to this, so I'll say to somebody, if money was not an issue, would you do this? And then it's not whether they say yes or no. It's how quickly do they say yes or no. Because that determines how ready someone is. So we continue talking about perception. And she says, so tell me something that happened in your life. And I told her one of the most painful periods of my life because she wanted to know a wake-up call. And at that point, I was in my 20s and my dad had passed away, and he was my hero, mentor, father at 13. And then I was violated by a family relative, but without getting into details, that was an opening to my spiritual journey. So she says, how did you view it? As a blessing or a curse? And I said, well, want to be truth be told, it was a curse. But I knew as long as I kept feeling a curse, I was stuck. And she says, that's right. She says, many people don't realize what they think is a curse. And here's the key, is a blessing in disguise. I'm like, okay, sometimes that disguise is pretty heavy. And she says, yes, and that's why you gotta see about taking the disguise off. She says, most people don't even know that it's a disguise. They just think that's the only reality there is. But here's the thing, of now quantum physics proves this to be true, but in the 70s I did not know of quantum physics. But it's parallel realities, parallel universes. And she says, whatever you think and believe and resonate the energy frequency of, that's what you attract. She says, that's all voodoo does. She says, the voodoo that I practiced, she says, that was her shamanic aspect of it, was we just see the highest, best, raise the feeling to where it was already accomplished and celebrate it. Whoa. She says, and we do this, obviously, for what people think are blessings. But here's the secret. We also do it for the blessings in disguise. So what I shared with Robert is I said, oh, this is really interesting. I was given that, and then when we continued talking, she says, now obviously the best would be if people do this every day, every month. But we both laughed. Who's going to do a life review or looking at the blessings and curses of their life on a daily basis? But on an annual basis. Now that's a key. That's a beautiful secret. Because even though it's technically, you just go from one evening to a next day, chronologically, you go to sleep on the 31st and you wake up on January 1st, you went to sleep the same, you wake up the same. However, because the consciousness of the universe is aligned, it's like the collective is aligned, she says that's the power that makes New Year's Eve a sacred event, a special event. That can, if you release the old with the attitude of gratitude and welcome the new with the attitude of gratitude, you're like birthing yourself. You're starting over. And so she says, your assignment, create a ritual. Now I was like in my 20s, like create a ritual? Yikes. And she said, make it very simple. Make it one that anybody could do anywhere and doesn't require any money or a lot of time. Well, thanks. But remember, the word is yes. What did I say? Repeat after me if you're hearing it at home. Yes. Magic work that opens doorways. So I went back to my room, and all of a sudden, because I've been a visionary and clairvoyant, I saw these papers forming in front of me. And they had the words, blessings, curses, AKA blessings in disguise, and dream list. So there were 3 categories. And it was people and experiences. So this is how it goes. As close, and here's a gift. I'm going to give you a preview because I love giving gifts and I don't wait till the end, sorry. I'll give you the URL where you can get this gift, but I've actually recorded it for you so you don't have to take copious notes now, transcribed it, and added a special touch. That I'll save till the end. Anyway, so with this, I said, if we do it once a year, you close your eyes and just take a moment, take deep breaths. And I usually say at least take 3 deep breaths. 1 to just relax the body. 1 to relax your mind and emotions. And 1 for your spirit. So you're open to your own infinite wisdom. And you're more relaxed because a relaxed mind and a relaxed body accesses more of awareness, blessings, memories, all sorts of good things. And there's 2 ways to do it based on your memory system. You could either go back in time to January 1st of 2015 and go month by month that way. And as people and experiences pop up from that month, just kind of softly open your eyes and with the papers in front of you, just jot it down, jot it down. But keep them at like half-mast, like trance-like state, so you stay in that trance-like state. And if that's not your way, my way is to start in December so my mind can remember what's closest and slowly go back as I go deeper into my subconscious. So now you'll have this list of blessings, curses, AKA blessings in disguise, for people and experiences. Now, you can have them just as 2 pages, or you could actually have 4 pages, people and experiences for blessings and curses. At the end, this is your list. This is your year. This is what you are releasing so that you could be rebirthed, to take in the energy of the new year, to literally become, as all the Hallmark cards say, the new you. But I say, rather than the new you, the highest and best version of you that you already are, because each and every one of us, each and every day, whether we're conscious or not conscious, are evolving. That's what we do. We're here to evolve. And we either do it consciously, unconsciously. I applaud everyone here that you're doing it as consciously as you can. And that's why it's a great jump start, because you use the power of the universal force of that evening, of the collective globally, to make that quantum leap. Which, remember, now with quantum physics, we know everything is energy. Everything. So now you have that list. Then My juicy list is the dream list. And with that list, you look at the beautiful ones that you call the blessings and just continue them, embellish them, enhance them, expand them, do whatever you want to them. Then take the blessings in disguise, aka curse list, and flip it. So if you had financial challenges, well, what do you really want? Financial flow. Oh, what a concept. If you had ill health, oh, what do you want? Radiant health. That's your dreams list. That's your desires list. That's you saying to the divine, the God, not from a religious point of view, but of your understanding the invisible forces that bless us. Here's what I want. Not I'm attached to. Very clearly, she made that clear. The more you attach, the more you do it from your limited self. The more you prefer and go with an open hand, the more you invite the divine to join you. See, that's what they do. What they do is they create rituals where they get the conscious mind to be stilled, awaken the empowered nature of the self to access wisdom and guidance. So then you have your dreams list, and then if anything else comes to mind that you want to put there, like great travel, great love, great whatever, you put your dreams list. So now you have 3 basic lists. 2 are before the bewitching hour of midnight, and 1 is after. Now here's the good news. If you're the kind of people that like to go to sleep earlier, it's midnight somewhere. So just program where the midnight is, and as close to midnight as possible, you burn the lists. You celebrate releasing all of the old. It's like a baptism through fire. You're releasing it. You're burning it out of not only your cells, your memory, your body, your paradigms, your patterns. You're burning all, but notice what I said. Both the curses list, aka blessings in disguise, and the blessings. Yes, the blessings too. Don't worry, by burning them doesn't mean you're going to get rid of them. You're just releasing the energy. So you're in the present moment where the power is. So that is done before midnight. That's the old. Now, for the new, you write your dreams list, and as close to midnight as possible, take a little bit of water. Now, I'm not saying drown it, because you want to be able to read it. Sprinkle, 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 like a christening, like a new birth. Then fold it, put it under your pillow, and allow the power of that gift, of your dreams, of your desires, to be joined with the power of the unconscious, subconscious mind, free of old attachments, to render you a dream. Now, it may be one that you recognize, it may be symbolic, it may not come that night in dream form, it may come nights after, or it may come in a visual form as an aha experience. But trust me, it will come. And you will have a gateway, an aha, a symbol, something that initiates the dreams. So that's the New Year's Eve ritual. And I'm going to throw another thing that the shaman taught me for birthdays, because birthdays are days of new beginnings. Now, if you know the time of your birthday, as close to that time, wake up, be still and silent, give the universe your heart's desires, intents, whatever you want to call it, with no doubt and no fear. Notice, doubt and fear, vibrations down. Faith, gratitude, vibrations high. What do they do in voodoo? What do the Tibetan monks do? Feeling state. It's about the feelings. Not the thoughts have vibration, but the feelings are the vibrations that attract. So as close to your birthday time as possible, put out what you want. Only one thing though, because the universe knows really what you want, but one thing, one heart's desire. No doubt, no fear. You get it that year. Every year that I've done it with no doubt and fear, and every year that my friends and clients have done it with no doubt and fear, manifests, and here's the beautiful part, with grace and ease. Because when you're working with powers of the intangible forces, the invisible forces, even though it's hard because we're so wired to want to see it with our senses and feel it, to believe it, when you give the power here, things happen that what they call miracles, Einstein understood what miracles are. Miracles are events and experiences that happen out of time and space as we know it. It defies the logical, conscious mind. It goes straight to source that each and every one here is. And it's not defined by gender, it's not defined by socioeconomics, it's not defined by religions, cultures, locations, nothing. That's where the idea of the fire or the flame to the fire and the wave to the ocean. And people who are trained as shamans, myself included, initiated, know that when you access the invisible, unconscious, with trust and love, wisdom and possibilities and gateways that you can't even begin to consider open up. And now, with Robert's permission, I'm going to debunk some myths that might have me fired. But it's what I learned and what I live and what now science backs up. Do I have your permission?
You can't get fired.
Okay. Oh, good. No Donald Trump here. Okay. Here goes. Taking a deep breath because this is taking a risk. It's one thing when I do it with my clients and my friends to do it to everybody on New Year's Eve. I'm going to debunk the law of attraction. Now, not saying that the law doesn't exist. The law exists and is respected. However, based on your belief structures in the subconscious mind, if you ask for something and you have a belief structure that says, I deserve, I desire, I'm worthy, I'm good enough, it looks like you manifested it. However, if you don't, guess what? Chaos, which is spirit wanting to get you into higher order, aligned with subconscious to the truth, ensues. And you either don't get it, get a lot of struggle to get to it, or plain think it doesn't work. So yes, it does work, but not through attachment. Again, what the shaman woman told me, the attachment connects to the limiting belief systems. That's a no-no if you really want to manifest. Here's the secret of how to manifest. It's called preference, not attachment. So I prefer this, I give thanks for this, or something better, something greater that I can see and feel it. The attitude of gratitude is not an attitude. It literally is a sacred art form. It is prayer. And my mentor, that's since passed away, Dr. Joe, said something so beautiful once casually over lunch. Prayer, done correctly, is quantum physics. So that's the true law. The law of prayer, of love, of gratitude, of feeling what it would feel like to have it. So what he told me, she told me, and now I'm passing on to you, when you visualize, you could sometimes limit yourself because the conscious mind just visualizes what it thinks it wants. But if you say this or something greater, or what I call visioning instead of visualizing, where you have a feeling And you talk to that part of yourself and say, I really love doing this. I'd love to monetize it to bless myself and the world. And watch the ideas that come flooding in. It's beyond the conscious mind. And that's for visualization. Now for affirmations, again, the shaman and Dr. Joe said, if you affirm something with a belief structure that feels right, you're going to get it. Now, in the Tianna language, but if it's not aligned, if you don't have the belief structure that supports it, and the subconscious throws up, liar, liar, pants on fire, you're going to have a tough time. So what I recommend is listen to the subconscious. So if you say, and the words I am are the most powerful, so be really mindful when you say I am, that it's only the highest and best version of yourself. Never say like, I am sad. You know, I feel sad. That's real. I am sad? No, you're not sad. The God that you are is not sad. You're the infinite. You have all the power in the world. That's what the shamans know. That's what empowered living and evolutionary living knows. So with that, just stay open to all possibilities with the attitude of gratitude and prayer, and things beyond your conscious mind can happen. So if you affirm and your subconscious gives you a liar, liar, pants on fire, modify it, play with it. So it's not liar, liar, pants on fire. So I am becoming wealthy instead of I am wealthy when it's like, oh, I don't feel it. I'm becoming wealthy. Each day I become wealthier. Each day I become healthier. If it says yes, you are so on your way, because that's the nature of who we are as infinite beings of light. So those are the debunking of some favorite myths and whatever. Now I'm going to give everybody a riddle, if that's okay. I'm going to segue. So that was in my 20s. Then my own journey developed, and I met beyond love of my life story that Robert knows has taken dimensional proportions. That's actually written in my books, Love's Fire, Beyond Mortal Boundaries, with Warren's help, became a #1 bestseller in 2010. And then Living the Awakened Journey, which is where the rituals that I just shared are in. Anyway, he passed away, and I was forced to live everything I'm sharing with you. So Robert knows that these things really work, because when you test it in your darkest hours, and you still have the right to do this in your darkest hours. It doesn't mean everything is just accepted. But before he passed away, I walked in one day, and there he was, bedridden, very handsome, really beautiful man, even bedridden, very, very weak. And he was laughing, 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 laughing. And I'm thinking, I don't know if I, in a helpless, bedridden condition, could be laughing the way he was. And I said, honey, what is it? He goes, I found it. I found it. Everything we've been seeking. I found the ultimate secret of the universe and the cosmic joke. Well, I've been waiting for this moment like forever. Let me in on it. He says, the mind has a hard time really getting this, but picture a stretch. And I'm going to ask everybody in the audience to play this game with me. So you're now on the hot seat, or I like to call it the love seat. So picture a stretch limousine, and you think you're the driver. You're really in the back seat. Let the driver drive and enjoy the ride. He was laughing. He had it. He was great. I hate to admit this, but I will. I laughed and laughed like I understood, but did not get it. Did not get it. So he passes on. And I'm now at an ashram with an awakened master in Costa Rica who says, and we're all from You Create Your Reality in this group. There's 8 of us there in what looked like this beautiful villa in Costa Rica. And he said, there is no such thing as free will. And he goes, but the mind can't handle it. Let me illustrate it with a picture. Picture a stretch limousine, and you think you're the driver. And I'm like, what am I hearing? Stereo. But you're really in the back seat. Now, he changed it a bit with a baby plastic steering wheel in front of you that you get to play with. And when the car turns left, you think you created that. The car was going to turn left. Anyhow. Well, now I knew that there was something of a message there for me, because I would teach everybody. Intuition is what guides us if we listen, you know, that be still and know that I am God, that intuitive voice, the whispers over the big monkey mind voice that needs its bananas. Okay. But I still didn't totally get it. But I knew we were en route to something. And then my little dog Starsky, who is nicely in the next room, hopefully being nice and quiet, I was driving him back from a grooming of his hair, and he was in a Sherpa bag. And he started whining, so I unzipped the Sherpa bag ever so lightly so that I could put my fingers in to just pet him. And pop, like pop goes the weasel, how he jumped out of the bag, and he's on my lap, and he's driving the car. He's steering. He's having the time of his life. And in that moment, almost 15 years after I first heard it, I got it. And William from Beyond, which is a whole other story because we're multidimensional, and yes, life and love never dies. Transforms, but never dies. Laughed and laughed, which is his signature, and said, "Gotcha!" He got me. So now I ask the question, who knows who drives the car? And who's in the back seat? Anybody in the audience want to risk a guess? Took me 15 years, so feel free.
Well, 15 years. You're going to give us that long?
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I asked this at a screening, and I said, whoever gets it right gets a copy of the book as a congratulations. Somebody got it right. I was like stunned. I was very happy. The truth is, our soul, our God nature, our infinite self, whatever you call the divine that we each and all are, get that in the driver's seat. Bravo! Trust your knowing. But that is. But the part we identify, myself included, is our ego, our personality, our conditioned self. But if we put it in the back seat, put on seatbelts and shoulder pads if it needs it, and let the driver drive and enjoy the ride, then you have it all. And then, how can I say, life becomes not only an infinite journey of living in the question without attachment to the destination. So wouldn't you know, William from Beyond and I have actually, through the help of divine interventions, literally archangels and ascended masters, have something called the GPS code. And I have yet to reveal it, but as a special New Year's gift to Robert's peeps and to the world today, I'm just going to give the basic foundation because it's coming out. And as you know, anybody who goes for the other gifts will get like notice of this when it happens, because I wish somebody had given it to me. It would have made my life so much easier. It's one thing to hear, be in the back seat, let the driver drive and enjoy the ride. But what does the ego mind first do? How do I do that? Well, I didn't come up with it consciously. It's got its own story that involves everything from a poisonous spider bite in Costa Rica that hit my foot that most people would have to be in a hospital for, called the brown recluse, the Costa Rican cousin, I think, of the brown recluse, to visions coming up and 5 gears. I used to call them 5 steps, but William corrected me since we're using the car analogy, and 5 hand signals came up. And each day as I did the cleaning of the poison and I even went to the doctor, so I'm integrative medicine, so we know that everything's good, but it healed completely, and we have the system. The first system, the first thing, is pretend not pretend. When you have a problem bigger than your logical mind can understand and figure out the solution to, or an emotional reaction that's greater than you could just breathe through, it's eating away at you, that's the time to run the GPS code. The reason it's a code is because it's inside you. Everyone has it. We're born with it. It's like in our DNA. Because when William passed away and I came back to Guns Blazing, I told God, I either want to die quickly or awaken my soul's blueprint. Well, when you make a dare like that to the divine and you're a shaman of the caliber that I've been initiated into, you get both and more. I had bronchial pneumonia after coming from the North Pole dog mushing after Date with Destiny with Tony Robbins, knowing as a doctor that if I didn't do anything about it, bronchial pneumonia would take me out. That's what a lot of people died of. So I did nothing. Last breath, all these emotions came up. Anger, loneliness, fear, abandonment, and look how fast, snap of a finger, I was healed of bronchial pneumonia. That's the power that has now turned into gear 1. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. So unlike a GPS in a car, where you put in your location and you put in the destination you're going to when you're lost or want the best route, the GPS code, you're awakening your soul's knowing. So you put in the destination. So I'm having this problem. This is what I'm going through, blah, 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 blah. Don't put in what you want. Okay, this is not the law of attraction. How do you feel about your problem? And how would you feel when that problem is solved? Feeling. Feeling is vibration. We are vibratory beings of light. That's the gap. So is your gap like this? Is your gap like this? Is your gap like that? That determines gear 1, which is allow your emotional pain to come up. See, in most of society, Western or medical, it's called emotions come up, tranquilizers, suppressants, whatever. In the spiritual world, it's meditate and transcend those emotions. But here's the secret. And as a doctor, I know this. The emotions are frequencies. They lodge in your body and become illness, stress, whatever. So give yourself the gift of emoting, letting it come up, letting it release. But here's the beauty. Don't attach to the story that's behind it, because it's not ad nauseum. It's just like, think of the waters, when you're surfing, you just ride that wave of emotion, move through it. And as I said, we don't have enough time here to go into it, but I'm just going to give you like the outline. But the second gear, that's the secret sauce. It's called put the oxygen mask over yourself first. Guess who you have to forgive for that creation? But here's the good news. It's easy, or at least be ready, willing, and open to forgive yourself for that creation because you didn't do it intentionally. Nobody consciously wants to create financial disasters or health issues or romantic breakups. They happen because of limiting beliefs, wounds from our childhood. Let them come up. Let them release with compassion so your soul could take you to the next evolutionary step that they're designed to bring you to. And after you do you, if there's anybody that is in your sphere that you gave the script out of time and space to play certain roles, you get to forgive them too. But anyway, and there's techniques for forgiveness that, with compassion, the deeper the issue is, the more you need to work with it. But when it really is done, you're the one that's set free. And that's what that's about. Third step is spiritual surrender. Appreciate yourself. Like my dad used to say, you do the best you can, and then let God do the rest. So you do the best you can, and then you turn it over to whatever that higher power is all about. Now here's the interesting thing. Einstein, quantum physics, gave us the solution. No problem is solved from the same consciousness that created it. What a concept. He gave us the hint, but did we hear it? No. So the more we try to consciously figure out our problem, it's like digging it deeper. Turn it over to that part that has the answer. And then what would it feel like if you really turned it over, if you really let it go, if you really trusted and had faith that something greater than you can be there for you? It's gratitude as a frequency, not an attitude. So with that great gratitude, Meister Eckhart said it best, if thank you is the only prayer you'd ever say, that would be enough. And then last, fifth gear, walk wisely. Walk away. Stop Googling your problem. Stop talking about your problem. You've turned it over, so go do something you love, unrelated. And watch as your intuitive code will either give you a dream, encounter a person, have an experience that will solve your answer while you're living in the question. So that's the GPS code, that the whole idea is to help enjoy the journey, be the highest and best version of you. And my wish, and all of our wishes, is that takes you into the new year driving in style. So, any questions, comments, anything?
It's hard to ask questions when you have a microphone. Nobody can hear you. Thank you for that. That was a bigger gift than we expected of you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I didn't know either, but I practice and I
practiced
turn it
really
over.
well. You did well.
No, by practice means I do nothing. I show up,
No, you show up.
turned it
Okay,
over.
well, I like that too.
And that's what happens. Give me notes and I'm a disaster. PowerPoint, it probably would blow up.